This is how much my life is worth. So I'm finally doing it. I'm actually vlogging, not for the week, but just for the walkout. I thought it'd be like a fun thing to do. But again, I'm on an iPhone, so you know it's gonna be booty quality. But that's what my channel's about, bootylicious things. So today's the day of the walkout. I'm prepping for the walkout because I'm a speaker. I've got my journalism camera in my introduction. You would have seen that I do journalism. But so I'm walking through the parking lot right now, and I look like a major B-I-C-T-C-H. B-I-C-T-H, yeah. But I'm going down to the stadium right now to help set up. And yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a lot of fun. We have a lot of good, talented speakers today, not including myself, but I think it's actually gonna be a lot of fun, and I really can't wait to see the turnout and see how everyone planned. I've driven here in my friend's car, so I just drove like my third time ever with my permit, but shh, don't tell anyone about that. And it's gonna be great. I genuinely cannot wait for the turnout. I'm hype as hell because this is something I'm very passionate about, and I'm not passionate. The turnout is incredible.
More than 1,077 deaths in mass shootings, with innocent people of all races, backgrounds dying, and thousands more being injured. Oftentimes, those who commit these atrocities purchase their firearms legally, despite not being mentally stable individuals. The federal assault weapons ban expired in 2004, and despite many attempts to renew it, there still continues to be a stunning lack of gun legislation on high-powered firearms throughout the country. These are the same firearms that are used in these devastating mass shootings. Many of us have been or have known people impacted by suicide and depression. 58 of the 96 Americans that die from guns every day are gun-assisted suicides. In 2010, 19,312 people committed suicide by gun, and suicide continues to be the highest cause of death of people between 15 and 34. Restricting the purchase of a gun can make a massive difference in the fatal decision of someone affected by depression. It can create time for those individuals to seek help. What all these statistics lead to is the fact that guns affect hundreds of thousands of lives in irreparable ways. And if we cannot agree on legislation to reduce the amount, type, and people who can purchase guns, these numbers will only go up.
1 minute and 13 seconds. The 1 minute is to honor every single victim of gun violence in America. 13 seconds for every victim of Columbine. Speak louder. Oh, is this good? Okay, sorry. April 25th should have been a happy day. I was sitting next to my dad as he celebrated with fellow castmates in the completion of the show they just finished together. I had a new puppy on a leash in my hand, and I was wearing my favorite pink dress. My dad, Tom Tanner, and two other wonderful human beings, Marie Bruce and Ben Teague, had just completed Sherlock Holmes. It was the last show they did together. In an instant, my dad's smiles were stopped by gunshots and blood. In an instant that day, hadn't been remembered at all, that should have been remembered for laughter and chatter, became remembered for screaming and panicked 911 calls. In an instant, a day of perfect weather and open air was replaced by a day of hiding and confusion. Even at 7 years old, I knew what I wanted. I quickly became tired of hearing that they had to die simply because the shooter was crazy. I knew I wanted him and others like him to never have access to a gun, and I knew that the NRA was corrupt and frightening. And yet quickly I began to keep that all to myself because of the adults who, despite what I'd seen, disregarded me and shut me down for such open criticism and anger over guns and the NRA because I'm a kid. Because we're all kids. Kids who walked out of school today, for those who walked into school or work or theater and could not leave until their bodies were identified. Because to that we say no more. We walked out for the parents because they received goodbye messages after sending their kids to school, and to that we say no more. We walked out for common sense gun laws because BS solutions like arming teachers have yet to be enforced, but they do not work. Not for the teacher who barricaded himself in a classroom, and not for Philando Castile, who legally purchased a gun but was still killed for being black. And to that we say no more.
No more!
No more! We walked out because Matt's murderer Nicholas Cruz is a broken child, but Tamir Rice was grown enough to die for playing with a common children's toy. And to that we say no more.
No more!
We walk out because Dylan Roof deserved an easy arrest for murder, but Trayvon Martin was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and to that we say no more. We walked out for the girls and boys of color who have to learn from that their mom or dad or sister or brother or classmate didn't make it home because the people in power have failed them. We walk out for the minority communities who have been telling us about these issues, but people empowered, when they haven't been ignoring them or silencing them, they have been pulling the trigger. And to that we say no more.
No more!
We walked out because too many of us are survivors or friends or families of victims, and we say no more.
No more!
We walked out because corrupt politicians decided that slaughtering children is more acceptable as long as their wallets could get fatter, and to that we say no more.
No more!
I would relive April 25th 100 times if I never had to see one more report of children who lost their futures in a place where they should be building them. I want to change this country because I literally cannot sleep at night knowing that so many people have faced, are facing, or continually face such an unspeakable fear. The fear and sadness that a survivor holds will never be gone and will keep us up at night until there's change. Because eventually we all come to terms with what we survived, but we will never come to terms with the nightmare that our country has become for way too many. We stand out here for common sense solutions to put an end to this nightmare. We are children gathering for peace. We are children, not crisis actors. We are children, not puppets. We are children, not extremists. We are children, not bullies. We are children. We are survivors. We are the future, and we are change. All of us.
Vote them out! Vote them out! Vote them out!
Thank you. And don't just vote blindly. That's what these politicians want. Maybe you'll pick them accidentally and they can continue to take even more lobbyist money. Do some research. See if some bad extreme gun rights groups like the NRA support them or not. See if they support keeping corporate lobbying money out of politics. See if they're a good person. If they truly care about doing good for all people instead of just a select few who can pay money. When the walkout ends in a little while, it should not, and it's not, an ending.
Vote them out! 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 Vote them out!
We live in a nation where we have to fight every day. Just a couple of years ago, we had our first black president, and it shouldn't have took as long as it took to have one. For us women, we need to be hoping for a female president. Because not everybody can understand the issues that we be going through. Sometimes it takes a woman touch. Can I get an amen?
Amen!
So everybody, when you leave here, you leave in your heart that we need change. You take in your heart what Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and everybody else wanted for us. It don't matter if you're black, it don't matter if you're white, you're blue, you're purple, or you're green. Hope for a change. Can I get an amen?
Amen!
Now another.
I love you.
All right. I ain't gonna be long. So it's what we came up with over here in the corner. Y'all ready? Put down the guns. Put down the guns. Y'all gotta say pick up the pencil. Put down the guns.
Pick up the pencil!
Pick up the guns.
Pick up the
I am a senior here at Cedar Shoals. I will not be here next year. And my mother is a teacher. She teaches the 5th grade. And every day I tell her goodbye and I make sure I remember the last words that I said to her because I am afraid that a gunman is going to walk in and open fire on her classroom.
We love you.
Well, as you can hear, my name is Winta. Hi.
Hold it closer to your face.
Oh, y'all hear me? Everybody? Okay. So, as y'all can hear, we have a really bad problem with gun control, right?
Right.
And gun violence has always been a problem in the United States, which it should never have. And for that, which many students have always fallen a victim of. This has always been an issue that has affected everybody, not just those who have children or family members that have been killed, but it has affected the United States. It has affected all citizens. Not only knowing that those members of the family have been passed away, but knowing that it can always, ever, anytime happen to us if we always let people have any control of these guns. Mass shootings has always been an issue over 50 years. How many years? 50 years! Like, that is crazy. And we should have already had that control, but it's not. How many more years until we actually have other people dying and then realizing that all of these people are dying? How many years are we going to lose all these brothers and sisters, all these mothers, these fathers, and then we're going to lose us? They're going to lose us in the future.
That's my girl!
I believe in you.
And I know people always say you never know what you got till it's gone. And that's exactly what's happening right now. I always, like mothers and fathers, our future leaders, they're gonna be gone sooner or later. Whenever we have enough like gun control, it's never gonna happen. But you know. Anyways, I believe that we should have more gun control so these incidents will ever happen again. We as citizens do respect the Second Amendment, but we have always allowed all these concerns of us not being able to bear arms get in the way of how everybody's being killed. Little children around the schools, they're still being killed because we're scared of ourselves to be killed dead on the spot and not being able to shoot somebody else because we can't bear arms. So, from that, please, if anybody in the government can hear us, please learn that we can't handle this anymore. We're not going to die just because people are scared that they can't bear arms anymore. We're not going to die just because these little presidents don't want to go ahead and take out the guns from all these children our ages. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
The celebratory lunch of champions.
I pick up. Oh my god.
Me too. I don't know how I feel about this color of lip.
Christian Way.
I don't know how I feel about this lipstick with my eyeshadow.
Did you say turn right?
Yes. Left, right. Yes, to the right. To the right, to the right.
To the right.
To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right. So we're just headed to Cine.
Yeah.
Yes. Cine for the piano. Here we go. You're not gonna dance with me?
I'm a dumb.
We sitting in here, Urban Outfitters, looking at the expensive items. I really want this, but I know I want it. Does anyone know who Alyssa is? Alyssa who?
Switcher?
Yeah.